Tonight on Bridges World News, new footage shows evidence that Iran has produced laser-guided artillery shells.
A rally in Pakistan against the U.S. and NATO. Protesters want a thorough review of U.S. relations.
The Arab League decides to pull out of Syria due to escalating violence. Bridges World News starts right now.
Bridges News, your link to your world.
Good evening, I'm Samantha Azar.
And I'm Ken Oda. We begin in Iran. Iran's state TV reported that the country has produced laser-guided artillery shells.
The arms are reported to be capable of hitting moving targets with high accuracy. New footage shows evidence of artillery pieces on the ground, but the report did not give details of the shell. Iran occasionally produces the production and testing of military equipment ranging from torpedoes to missiles and jet fighters. The country's military has run a program dating back from 1992, which aims at self-sufficiency in producing modern weapons.
We are hoping to be able to unveil satellites and satellite carrier missiles during the next 10 days.
The Iranian oil minister says Iran may stop selling oil to some European countries as tensions continue to escalate between Tehran and the West over its nuclear ambitions. On Sunday, Rostam Ghasemi said that Iran has enough customers for its oil and can easily replace European countries. He said Iran will not have a problem exporting Europe's 20%. His comments come as the West imposes new sanctions to try to force Iran to slow or halt its nuclear program. The European Union decided last week to impose an embargo on Iranian oil, a measure set to take full effect in July. Iran is threatening to close the Strait of Hormuz, a vital oil passage, in retaliation. Meanwhile, a team of International Atomic Energy Agency inspectors are on a 3-day visit in Iran.
In fact, we have enough customers and probably we will be stopped selling oil to some countries.
Today, Syria announces their disappointment with the Arab League's decision to suspend the observer mission in the country due to safety reasons. Many Syrian political analysts say that the suspension has deteriorated the relations between Syria and the Arab League to the freezing point. Officials from the National Democratic Revolution say that the escalating conflict in Syria is the main reason of the suspension. Local Syrians have expressed positive comments on the pullout by the Arab League observer mission.
I think it is wrong to suspend the observer because they can show the situation in Syria to other countries.
The Arab League has set the plan of handling Syria problem to the United Nations Security Council to make it international, but they do not accomplish the plan.
The polling stations of Egypt's Shura Council, the upper house of parliament, closed in the first day of the 2-day vote with a low turnout rate from voters. On Sunday, in the first stage of the upper house elections, voters in 13 out of Egypt's 27 districts went to the polls. But the over 5,000 polling stations only saw a small number of cast ballots. Firki Murad, a Olympic National Committee board member, said the low turnout rate was due to insufficient advertisement. He said that the media did not promote the importance of the Shura Council. The Shura Council consists of 270 members, with 180 chosen by voters and 90 appointed by the president yet to be elected.
A high-profile Hamas leader met Jordan's King Abdullah to revive contacts with the country. Khalid Mashal hopes that his visit helps build a relationship with the previously shunned Islamist. Jordanian officials say that Hamas will not be allowed to reopen its offices in Jordan. Jordanian officials say Mashal was accompanied by 4 other top Hamas politicians. Mashal holds a Jordanian passport, but the kingdom expelled him and 4 other Hamas leaders in 1999 for illicit and harmful activities. The visit was arranged by the Crown Prince of Qatar, who is helping Hamas find a new home.
In the beginning of 2012, we inaugurated this good and blessed start with the meeting His Majesty King Abdul II, and we hope to continue this relationship in a way to serve the Jordanians and the Palestinians' interests.
Covering South Asia. The Punjab government announces a compensation plan for victims involved in the Lahore drug scandal. Damages from 200,000 to 500,000 rupees are reported to be made available to the victims. The decision came after heart drugs prescribed by the Punjab Institute of Cardiology in Lahore caused more than 100 deaths. At least 113 heart patients died and another 480 others were admitted into the hospital. In addition to the compensation plan, hospitals are also offering free medical care to the victims.
They were provided financial aid from the Punjab government also. They paid them in rupees 30,000 in cash, and now they have promised 170,000 in checks also.
Thousands of people gathered at a rally in the Pakistani city of Multan to condemn NATO airstrikes, which killed 24 Pakistani troops last year. Protesters demanded that the government keep NATO supplies suspended. Sunday's Defense of Pakistan conference was organized by Jamaat-ud-Dawa. The speakers at the rally included leaders of several religious groups. They demanded that ties with the U.S. be reviewed and an independent foreign policy be adopted. Head of Jamaat-ud-Dawa, Hafiz Syed, said that the U.S. will have to pay a price if it tries to attack Pakistan. The speakers warned the government against reopening the NATO supply routes, saying they would stage a sit-in outside the parliament if any such attempt was made. The Pakistani army last month formally rejected a U.S. claim that the American airstrikes that killed the Pakistani troops last year were justified as self-defense.
If they try to use aggressive actions against Pakistan and they try to attack Palestine's soil, then God willing, America will break. If attempts are made to submit any resolution in Parliament to reopen the NATO supply line, then this would be a step against Pakistan. The Defense of Pakistan Council will make every attempt to oppose it. We will besiege the Parliament.
Coming up, negotiations on an oil dispute between Sudan and newly formed South Sudan continue.
And Raul Castro defends Cuba's one-party system but reaffirms his pledge for term limits. Stay with us.